Chapter 31 Sending the Golden Crow Holy Medicine to the Xuantian God and Continuing to Sow Discord. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Not long after, the saint was blasted into a mess. Huangfu Shiyun didn't really kill him. Harsh words should be said as harshly as possible. You've bullied Taiyuan Holy Land too much. The saint said angrily before leaving. Gu Gan patted Dijiang beside him. Kick him. Dijiang turned into a white light and instantly arrived behind the saint, and kicked him into a mountain with 6 legs. As a villain, it is normal to occupy the magpie's nest. Moreover, the nature of the world is the exploitation of the weak by the strong. If the strongest pair of saints in Taiyuan Holy Land were here, they would not be qualified to reason with Gu Gan. He took off his clothes, wearing only a pair of shorts, and soaked in the warm fairy spring. He practiced the great wilderness art to quickly absorb the immortal energy and restore his own strength. Huangfu Shiyun and the other two changed their precious clothes into bathrobes and soaked in the fairy spring. Emperor Jiang would not miss such a good place either. He turned into a cannonball and fell into the fairy spring, stirring up waves. Gu Gan, who was practicing, turned black. Believe it or not, I will roast you. Emperor Jiang quickly escaped into the fairy spring, not daring to show his head. Later, some creatures came, but when they saw the man and beast bathing in the hot spring, their faces changed and they bowed and left. With the strength of Gu Gan's people, even if they did not hide this valley, no one dared to provoke them. Half a day later, another person came outside the valley. When Yi Hao saw the people bathing in the fairy spring, his face suddenly changed and he was about to escape. Gu Gan said, Yi Hao, I haven't seen you for almost 2 years. Why are you so anxious to leave? Are you afraid of me? Gu Gan opened his eyes and looked at the thin young man that Yi Hao had transformed into and said. Hearing Gu Gan's words, Huangfu Shiyun also opened his eyes and looked at Yi Hao. Yi Hao sneered and showed his original appearance. Huangfu Shiyun saw this person change into Yi Hao's appearance, and there was no wave in his heart. It is impossible to say that he is completely relieved of Yi Hao, but it is impossible to like him again. In Huangfu Shiyun's eyes, Yi Hao is a complete scumbag and liar. But I still have to thank him. If it weren't for him, I couldn't be with Uncle Gu. And Yi Hao had a murderous intention towards Huangfu Shiyun. Yi Hao could not forgive a woman who betrayed him and cheated on him. Yi Hao would not reflect on his mistakes. After all, what can the protagonist do wrong? You have been defeated by me twice. The person you should be afraid of is you. Yi Hao sneered. Gu Gan stood up and stood on the surface of the fairy spring. I really want to kill you and wash away the shame on me. But my father said that for the sake of the person on your body, I will spare your life. Gu Gan said with sarcasm. Yi Hao was so angry that he laughed. Do you really think that you are invincible in Sandaozu after taking away the world tree? Yi Hao has always been upset about Gu Gan taking away his world tree. He was only a few steps away from the world tree at that time. But Gu Gan ruined his plan. Damn the ancient clan. They bullied me again and again. If I, Yi Hao, rise one day, I will eventually destroy the ancient clan, and the whole clan will be slaughtered cleanly, leaving no dog behind. I don't know if I am invincible, but it's easy to defeat you. Gu Gan used the power of the ancient times, and a human-shaped god appeared behind him. At the same time, Dijiang cooperated very well and emerged from under Gu Gan, flapping his snow-white wings. Yi Hao recalled the might of Gu Gan's ancient true body before him, and the extreme speed of Emperor Jiang. If there was no Xuantian temple, he would have fallen to Gu Gan's hands. He immediately had the intention to retreat. Now Yi Hao's strength is equivalent to the strongest Jianjiao echelon in Sandaozu, and he is the protagonist, almost with the undefeated buff bonus of the same realm. But Gu Gan's ancient true body is too abnormal, and his strength completely surpasses the same realm, which is equivalent to having an invincible state for 1 minute. And Emperor Jiang's speed is also against the sky. This kind of beast is not strong, but has 2 advantages: fast speed and durability. So when an opponent who can be invincible for 1 minute rides a beast that can stick to you all the time, it is simply unsolvable. If there is no Emperor Jiang, it's okay. As long as you hide for a minute, you can defeat Gu Gan at will. But with Emperor Jiang, there is no way to hide at all. It's a miracle. I admit that your ancient true body is powerful, but 2 against 1 is not fair. Yi Hao still said hard, but in fact he was subdued. He was unlucky. He didn't expect to meet Gu Gan and his men here, as well as this disgusting beast Dijiang. Humph. Let's have a fair fight another day. Yi Hao said, and his feet had already retreated. He didn't want to fight a battle full of uncertainties. Wait. Gu Gan said. Yi Hao's heart tightened. What do you want to do? If you want to fight, I will fight with you, provided that it is one-on-one. Gu Gan snorted disdainfully. You are not my opponent. I am speaking to the senior on your body on behalf of my father. Yi Hao was even more upset. You ancient people are despicable and cunning, what can I say? As he said that, Yi Hao was about to leave, but Xuantian God flew out. Send a message to Yi Hao, don't leave yet. If you leave directly, Gu Gan might take action. Don't waste the only chance to save your life. Hearing what Xuantian God said, Yi Hao had no choice but to stop. He stared at Gu Gan, and then looked at Huangfu Shiyun with resentment. My friend, does your father have anything to tell you? Asked Xuantian God in a kind tone. For Xuantian God, Gu Gan did not leave a bad impression on her. Not only is he strong, but he is also good at controlling people's hearts. The most important thing is that he is broad-minded and has lofty ambitions. He can remain calm when facing artifacts like Xuantian Temple. In the future, he will definitely be one of the rulers of the three Daozhou. Gu Gan took out a black plant from the storage ring, emitting golden light, like a sacred beast, Jinwu. I don't know what my father is thinking. He actually said that he would give you the sacred medicine if he got it. As he said that, Gu Gan had already thrown the Jinwu's sacred medicine over. Xuantian God looked at the Jinwu's sacred medicine that was thrown to him, and his face was quite complicated. Yi Hao saw this scene and his face turned livid instantly. What do you Gu clan mean? Yi Hao roared. Naked poaching. You don't take me seriously. This is intolerable. Gu Gan looked unhappy. What do you mean? Are you not satisfied with the golden crow holy medicine? Xuantian Shenzun sighed and slowly pushed the golden crow holy medicine back. Thank your father for me, but I'm sorry I can't accept it. The golden crow holy medicine is the first material for reshaping the body, but we have to consider Yi Hao and take care of his emotions. Gu Gan took the golden crow holy medicine and showed a look of understanding. I understand, senior, you want to reshape your body, but following Yi Hao, a waste who is unkind, unjust, unfaithful and unfilial, are you sure he can successfully reshape your body for you? Gu Gan said with disdain. Yi Hao wanted to run away. Gu, you are really looking for death. The same sentence. Handsome people will not get angry when they are called ugly. Ugly people will get angry when they are called ugly. Gu Gan scolded. Right. Yi Hao was angry. You can try. The weak are not worthy of opening the door. Gu Gan said nonchalantly. If Yi Hao attacked now, Gu Gan would not be unwilling to cooperate with Di Jiang and beat Yi Hao violently. Xuantian God stopped Yi Hao who was about to run away. Don't bother, my friend. Xuantian God said to Gu Gan, and then he was going back to the depths of Yi Hao's sea of consciousness. Yi Hao's luck is very strong, and it may take a long time to reshape his body, but there is hope. Yi Hao rose up under her watch, although his character is indeed a bit worse. Gu Gan's mouth corners were drawn with an unpredictable smile. Senior, listen to my advice. Yi Hao is unreliable, he is too selfish. If you really encounter a super treasure that can allow you to directly reshape your body, do you think he will give it to you? This sentence is Gu Gan's foreshadowing for the Chaos Green Lotus. I wonder if Yi Hao will choose to give the Chaos Green Lotus to the Lord Xuantian to reshape his body, or use it as the key to his own invincibility after getting it. If he chooses the former, he will not only lose the Chaos Green Lotus, but the Lord Xuantian who reshapes his body will also take away the Xuantian Temple. But if he chooses the latter, Gu Gan is looking forward to it. When Yi Hao kicks the Lord Xuantian aside, he finds that the Chaos Green Lotus has been refined by him. What a look, really looking forward to it. Ha! Still trying to sow discord. Senior helped me get to where I am today. I will do my best to repay the senior, and you, an outsider, don't need to worry about it. Yi Hao knew Gu Gan's purpose and calmed down. Gu Gan nodded to the Lord Xuantian. Senior, remember his words, let's wait and see together. The Lord Xuantian was stunned, always feeling that Gu Gan had something to say, but if Yi Hao really encountered such a treasure, he should give it to himself, right? I think. Chapter 32 Entering the Ancient Battlefield. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After soaking in the fairy spring for a few days, Gu Gan and his 4 companions have recovered to their peak state. The people from Taiyuan Saint did not show up, probably because they gave up. Gu Gan did not want to let go of this fire attribute superb fairy vein. Leave a coordinate here, and take it away after the main body is done. Before leaving, set up a band to isolate the breath and hide the breath of the fairy vein. Brother Gu, I am really worried about the safety of my junior sister. Li Zhenhan sighed and wanted to find Xiao Ling'er. After all, he saw Xiao Ling'er's previous performance, which was too unbearable, and Lin Chen's cultivation was weak, and he could not protect Xiao Ling'er's safety at all. Li Wana heard this, and her eyes were full of grief. Gu Gan had nothing to say to this dog. Go, just don't show your face in front of her, and tell me if there is any situation through the divine thought transmission mark first. Li Zhenhan made a sword light and quickly disappeared in the mist. Then Gu Gan took Huangfu Shiyun and Li Wana, sat on the back of Emperor Jiang, and continued to go deeper into the left Dao realm. Calculating the time, the ancient battlefield should be opened soon. On the way, Huangfu Shiyun asked Li Wana, "Do you like senior brother Li?" Li Wana nodded and denied it. "I suggest you give up. You have seen his situation. It is impossible for him to love you. Moreover, he is the young master of the Li family and the senior brother of Shenyuan sword sect. There is also a gap in your status." As a woman, Huangfu Shiyun couldn't help but persuade Li Wana. Although Xiao Ling'er is unruly and willful, she is the daughter of the leader of Shenyuan sword sect. She is a perfect match with senior brother Li. No matter from which aspect, they are a perfect match. Huangfu Shiyun said so. Then he couldn't help but think of himself and Gu Gan. The gap is too big. I'm afraid Uncle Gu will marry another woman in the future. Li Wana sighed. How could I not know, but love is too complicated. I want to let go and forget senior brother Li, but I can't do it. Gu Gan said, the best way to forget someone is to find a better one. Li Wana is a good woman, but she is obsessed with Li Zhenhan, the dog. What a pity. Li Wana smiled bitterly at Gu Gan's words. Is there anyone better than senior brother Li? Even if there is, what qualifications do I have to pursue him? Li Zhenhan is already the strongest sequence of the younger generation in Sanji Daozhou. There are few, very few who are better than him. And even if there is, with Li Wana's talent background, people may not be able to see it. Gu Gan said casually, Shiyun and I have only become stronger in recent years. You should adjust your mentality and focus on yourself. Who can be sure that your future achievements will not surpass your senior brother Li? Li Wana was stunned and thought carefully about Gu Gan's words. In fact, Li Wana's talent is terrible. Even though she didn't want to practice inner sword at the beginning, she resolutely joined Shenyuan sword sect for Li Zhenhan, and she became the top 10 outer sword pride of the younger generation of Shenyuan sword sect, relying on the experience of the main body. Gu Gan saw that Li Wana's fighting style was somewhat inclined to the inner sword. It is estimated that she practiced outer sword for Li Zhenhan, so he said, you should face yourself and ask yourself which road you should take. And which road you should lead to. If you take the wrong road, destroy it and start over. After listening to Gu Gan's words, Li Wana closed her eyes, not knowing what she was thinking about. Gu Gan didn't say too much. If Li Wana continues to have a crush on Li Zhenhan, then she will be useless and worthless to cultivate. A few days later, many space cracks appeared in the mist of the left world. And the space cracks lead to the ancient battlefield. Before leaving, Li Zhenhan returned to Gu Gan's team. He felt something was wrong, but he couldn't tell why. But from then on, Li Wana looked at Li Zhenhan with no love in her eyes. Many spirits entered the ancient battlefield one after another. Among them, there were many powerful giants. There were also native spirits from the left world, pouring in. Their cultivation was suppressed, and the highest would not exceed the perfection of the Yenshu realm. The crisis of the ancient battlefield was the threat of undead creatures and other entrants. As for opportunities, there were also many treasures that were born at the border of the two worlds poured into the ancient battlefield. In the ancient battlefield, many opportunities have been born over the long years. Even the undead creatures themselves have crystals filled with undead power in their bodies, which are also good treasures. Gu Gan and his 4 companions sat on the back of Emperor Jiang and entered the ancient battlefield. These crystals can improve the quality of the Black Lotus of Destruction. Huanfu Shiyuan held a crystal in front of her, with a happy look on her eyebrows. Huanfu Shiyuan's black lotus of destruction is of the 3rd grade, after all, it has just been born. If it can be upgraded to the 5th grade, it will be equal to Huanfu Shiyuan's cultivation level, and its strength will be further improved. Undead creatures are not only skeletons, but also ghosts of spiritual bodies. For Gu Gan and his 4 companions, these undead creatures do not pose a threat. Even the arrogant peers cannot pose a threat. The real threat is those powerful giants. Although their cultivation is suppressed, they have many trump cards. Moreover, in this place where one's cultivation is suppressed, one does not need to abide by the rules and can go and slaughter the rising stars of the hostile sects. And the undead creatures also appear in groups, unless they are like Huanfu Shiyuan and Li Zhenhan, who are extremely powerful as individuals. They can retreat even if they cannot be killed. It is better to gather the people of our 3 major sects first, or to form a group. As the young patriarch of the ancient clan, Gu Gan has to consider the younger brothers of the ancient clan. Gu Gan took out the young patriarch token and activated the gathering ban. The tokens of the younger brothers of the ancient clan nearby will guide them to find him. Huanfu Shiyuan and Li Zhenhan, as the leaders of the younger generation of the Taisha immortal dynasty, Qian sword sect, and the Li family, also have similar methods to gather people in the sect. Gu Gan knew very well that the reason why the ancient battlefield needed to form a group was deliberately done by the original owner of the Chaos Green Lotus, because once the group is formed, it will inevitably be a fight between sections. In this way, the number of casualties will increase significantly. And this has become Gu Gan's goal now, because Gu Gan is the current owner of the Chaos Green Lotus. In order to make the Chaos Green Lotus mature, many spirits must be sacrificed, so Gu Gan will not change anything. On the contrary, it will promote the fighting between the sects. Gu Gan, Huanfu Shiyuan, and Li Zhenhan, the 3 leading figures, gathered together, and in less than 3 months, a team of more than 100 people gathered behind them. Among them was Gu Suner. If it was before, Gu Suner would never obey Gu Gan's orders, but now after seeing Gu Gan's invincibility, she has become Gu Gan's #1 little fangirl. She no longer calls Gu Kun by name, and affectionately calls Gu Gan brother. Chapter 33, Run Away and Survive in My Hands. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Other creatures entering the battlefield far away have noticed this and must form a group. Although there are many undead creatures, they can move freely for Tianjiao. However, the problem is that there is still a group of old monsters hunting Tianjiao. The reason why old monsters are terrifying is that they have rich combat experience and endless trump cards. The most important thing is that they are more sinister than one another. Therefore, for the sake of their own safety, it is necessary to form a group. Even if it is the original body of Wang Gan and Qin Yi, they are hunting Tianjiao of the hostile sect at this time. If it is a real dragon, real phoenix, Kuanpan, etc., they will not hesitate to make a dirty move. Even the pure-blooded creatures who come and go alone will form gangs and form teams with other kinds of monsters, strange beasts, fierce beasts, holy beasts, and divine beasts. With the help of unique conditions, the team behind the 3 of Wang Gan has grown rapidly. Even if they encounter a large army of undead creatures, they will be crushed directly. If they encounter a team of hostile sects such as the Wuji Immortal Palace, a bloody battle is inevitable. With the advantage of numbers, and the presence of 3 of the strongest Tianjiao, they can easily beat the opponent and make him flee. Although there is no hearty battle, the crushing of numbers is not bad. Li Zhenhan said with a smile, just now, a team of evil sword cultivators was destroyed. For Li Zhenhan, the senior brother of the orthodox sword Dao, it was simply awesome. At this time, behind the Emperor River, there is a flying boat of the best fairy weapon level, with more than 500 people on it. They are all descendants of the Li clan, Taisha immortal dynasty, Xianyuan sword sect and Li family, and some are vassal forces of the 3 major Wuji sects. A black substance appeared in front of the door and turned into a young man. The young man is a member of the Dark clan, a subsidiary race of the Dong clan. Young clan, the holy treasure Hengyang red gold has appeared in front, but the contenders are 5 old monsters, whose real cultivation is at least in the realm of the living emperor. Dong Gan's eyes showed greed. Hengyang red gold contains the power of the sun god, and like the sun true body, it can bring huge benefits to the sun supreme body of the main body, and he must get it. Kill it. Gu Gan ordered, the old monster is dead, and his cultivation has been suppressed, and he can't move the trump card that is too strong to surpass himself. He has hundreds of people here, even if there is no one, with Huangfu Shiyun and Li Zhenhan, and Di Jiang, who is fast against the sky, it is not certain who will hunt whom. The resource reserves of each old monster are amazing. After all, after practicing for a long time, it is one of the most perfect prey in Gu Gan's eyes, second only to the Son of Luck. Not long, Gu Gan sensed the breath of Hengyang red gold, licked his lips, and his eyes were full of greed. Those monks who are good at long-range attacks, get ready. Gu Gan ordered the hundreds of people on the flying boat. At the beginning, the 5 old monsters who were still fighting for Hengyang red gold did not take Gu Gan and others seriously. They thought they were just a group of young people who wanted to interfere with them by relying on their numerical advantage, for them, who was not a genius when they were young. Although this generation of geniuses is much better than before, but young people are young after all, you need to make a little move. Just as the 5 old monsters thought disdainfully, they suddenly felt a fatal threat. They saw a dazzling range of attacks coming from the flying boat in the distance, or destructive beams, or 5 elements magic, or thunder magic, or one-time destruction talismans, etc. These bastards, damn, how could the 5 old monsters remain calm? They retreated violently, without any thought of resisting. Are you kidding me? With a long-range attack from more than 100 people, even if they were holding defensive holy weapons, they would die if their cultivation was suppressed. Let's go first, and fight for it later. An old monster suggested. The other 4 old monsters didn't agree. There were too many young bastards, and there were hundreds of them. Just when the 5 old monsters joined forces to break the natural restriction of Hengyang Qijin, a white light flashed, and Hengyang Qijin disappeared. Abnormal. But it's so cool. This was Gu Gan's idea. Dijiang is simply unsolvable. Once the natural restriction of the treasure is broken, the treasure can be snatched away instantly with the help of the rapid burst of bloodline magic. Now, you know how happy Dijiang felt when he robbed the world tree, the golden crow holy medicine, and the sun truth, without any effort, or even risking his life. He took the treasure that a group of people fought for. Dijiang is simply a beast born for the phrase unearned gain. Without any means of attack, he will pick the fruits of others' hard work, and he will pick them accurately. Unless defensive means are arranged on the back to separate the treasure from Dijiang, otherwise, it is too unsolvable. The 5 old monsters were stunned for a moment, and then they became furious. It's Dijiang. No, there is someone behind Dijiang. That the 5 old monsters were ashamed and angry. After avoiding the large-scale long-range attacks of hundreds of monks on the flying boat, they each used their own means to chase the white light transformed by Dijiang. But Dijiang flew a circle and returned to the flying boat. If he didn't run, he would land on the top of the flying boat. If he had any expression, it would be disdain and contempt. To deal with you, I'm too lazy to run. The next moment, hundreds of cultivators on the flying boat began to charge up long-range attack moves. Qian, are you really looking for death? A pale-haired old woman said sternly. Junior of the clan, if you don't return the treasure, after you leave this place, there will be no place for you in the 3,000 states. A young man in blue robes with wings looked at Gan coldly. He is a casual cultivator and does not need to abide by the rules of not attacking juniors. There is also an old monster who is the great power of Demon Mountain. The Demon God Mountain is a neutral and unparalleled orthodoxy between the Xuantian clan and the Wuji Immortal Palace. If you don't return it, I, the Demon God Mountain, will join in the fight between your clan and the Wuji Immortal Palace. Laugh dryly, smile brightly. You old immortals, I find you stupid and pitiful. Gan stood on the back of Dijiang, glaring at these 5 old monsters. Junior, what do you mean? How dare you insult us? The old woman frowned. The great monster of the casual cultivator smiled ferociously and said, Do you think you are invincible just because of the large number of people? I have already remembered all of your faces. If you give me a chance, you will all be my savior. Food. The expressions of the hundreds of people in Feizhou changed. Yes. Now in the distant battlefield, these old monsters can be defeated with the advantage of numbers, but if you leave the battlefield far away, you can kill everyone with just one finger. Of course Gan is not afraid, he is the young patriarch of the clan, but if he is retaliated against, he will definitely end up miserable. And the holy level treasures are made by, so you can't get any profit in water, and you have to bear all the cause and effect. Thinking of this, some people have the intention to retreat. Ha 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 ha, Dot laughed wildly. Opportunity? You have no chance. The battlefield far away is your graveyard. Run away. Stay alive under my hand. The power of the wilderness emerged from the origin of Gan's whole body, and a humanoid god who came from the wilderness appeared behind him and merged with it. The next moment, Gan exploded with an extremely terrifying aura. Because this is your own strength, it is not suppressed by the rules of the distant battlefield. Di Jiang was extremely excited. Big Brother is about to explode with wild power. Fizu's Zuner clenched her fists, looking at the clan brother who looked like a god. There were little stars of admiration in his eyes. This is the young patriarch that I, sooner, recognize. Window, _tabula equals window, _tabula, _tabula. Push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target _type, mix. Chapter 34, Pure-blooded beasts at the Emperor level. Suppress them all. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The woman with a sharp tone couldn't help but swallow her saliva when she felt the terrifying aura erupting from Gu Gan. What about that? I suddenly remembered that I still need to breastfeed my great-great-grandson. Forget about the treasure. As she spoke, the woman summoned a crane and quickly flew away. The expressions of the other old monsters all changed, and they quickly retreated without any time to speak. Gu Gan stared at the great casual cultivator demon, and he evolved his true form, which was the ancient ferocious beast Tao Zhu. Xiao Jiang, catch him and eat meat. If you can't catch him, I'll eat you. When Di Jiang heard this, he immediately became anxious. 2 pairs of snow-white wings lit up with white light, exerted their magical powers, and carried the ancient trunks to catch up with Tao Zhu in an instant. Gu Gan jumped from behind Di Jiang, raised his hand and struck out with a palm. Yao Zhu's originally fierce eyes were now filled with fear. The strength unleashed by Gu Gan's appearance far exceeded his expectations. From ancient times to the present, no one has such terrifying strength. Forget it, the key is that the rules of the ancient battlefield do not limit Gu Gan's strength. Little friend, misunderstanding. Big misunderstanding. Yao Zhu showed weakness. The ancient power in Gu Gan's body was mobilized in the palm of his hand, and with a slap of his palm, the power of the great wilderness spread out. The fierce and powerful Tao Zhu was directly suppressed by a slap, and his body was embedded into the earth. No misunderstanding, I will kill you to eat meat today. Compared to Yao Zhu, Gu Gan at this time looked more like an ancient evil. Ying Zhu knew that today was in danger, so he used his trump card to fight, but in the ancient battlefield, the trump card cannot display its strong strength at all. Even the holy soldier was blown away by Gu Gan. Within this minute, Gu Gan is invincible. Less than half a minute, Gu Gan completely suppressed Tao Zhu and pressed his palm on Tao Zhu's head. No! Yao Zhu roared angrily. As soon as Gu Gan exerted his strength, his palm was inserted into Yong Zhu's head, and the unparalleled ancient power poured into it, instantly tearing apart his sea of consciousness and crushing his soul. Xiao Jiang, you can still kill one more. Gu Gan called to Di Jiang with infinite ferocious power. Faced with the state of Huang Gu's true body, Di Jiang carried him on his back, not daring to complain at all. Di Jiang is extremely fast, like Gu Gan, is all his own strength. Simply put, that is, in the Yinjin realm, the power exploded by relying on one's own cultivation is not restricted by the rules of the ancient battlefield. Within a moment, Di Jiang caught up with an old monster again, was not from the clan. Knowing that Gu Gan wanted to eat meat, Di Jiang tried his best to satisfy Gu Gan's desire to eat meat. Otherwise, this scary guy will always want to eat himself. After 1 minute of invincibility, Gu Gan killed an old monster again. This old monster is a spinner turtle. He carries a turtle shell on his back, but he has the beak of a divine bird and the feet of a ferocious beast. His bloodline is extremely noble, but for Gu Gan, it's all meat on the chopping board. Gu Gan took the corpses of these two great monsters, collected their treasures, and returned to the flying boat. The flying boat landed on the ground, and hundreds of monks on it came, looking at the two corpses of demon kings as big as mountains in front of them. Horror was written on their faces. Gu Gan's strength is so terrifying that he can even kill old monsters at will. It's simply terrifying. They gave up the idea of leaving the team. After the death of Gu Gan, are you still worried about the lack of opportunities? Sheng, set up the pot. Gu Gan called out, the physical body of a ferocious beast in the Emperor of Life realm is very terrifying. Even if it dies, the power of the ferocious beast contained within it makes feel terrified. The more this happens, the more they admire Gu Gan, who can forcibly suppress them and want to follow them. After packing up the corpse, he put it directly between two mountains and baked it under the sun. The body of the spin turtle was put into a huge iron pot. Gu Gan was not stingy. He took out a large amount of raw materials and treasures, threw them into the iron pot, and mixed them with the meat of the turtle to cook together. Not long after, the was roasted first, and the Gu Gan was eaten by everyone. The Tao Tzu is a pure-blooded ferocious beast and possesses the cultivation level of the Sheng Emperor realm. Its flesh and blood contains the terrifying power of qi and blood. Not long after, each of the 7 orifices spit out red light of energy and blood. You can only eat it for a while and refine it for a while. The news of breakthroughs comes one after another, no less than any top-notch cultivation in the cave-blessed land. The flesh and blood of the have great benefits, especially for body refining. Huangfu's poem says that when he was in the Golden Crow Forbidden Land, his physical training returned to the true level, and now, it has reached the 3rd level of perfection. Even Li Zhenhan has improved a lot, not to mention other. Not long after, the spinner turtle stewed in the huge iron pot is cooked. The bottom of the pot is a pile of colorful celestial beings baked, and the meat of the turtle is boiled until it becomes rotten, coupled with a large number of elixirs and elixirs brought out by the ancient gods. When the lid of the pot is opened, the rushing glow bursts out. The rich fragrance swept out instantly, transforming this land into a gourmet wonderland. The originally barren land now glows with new vitality, and large expanses of green appear, showing the majestic power of vitality contained in the delicacies in the pot. The scent attracts nearby creatures, but after seeing so many people, they all left knowingly. This is the Tao Dao Tong alliance headed by Gu Gan, Huangfu Shiyun, and Li Zhenhan. If you can't gain connections, don't think about taking advantage, especially the non-tribe creatures. If you come here rashly, you will probably have to eat extra. Dijiang smelled the fragrance and became greedy. He took out a transformation fruit from his body without a mouth, then he turned into a fat boy, eager to eat meat. Gu Gan wanted to laugh when he saw him like this. The transformation fruit can help non-humans to become human, but it cannot specify the appearance and figure. Just like the fierce beast Tao Wu before, he was a fierce and evil man. Dijiang's body was fat, and now he turned into a fat man. However, Dijiang was still very young, so he looked like a boy. Seeing Gu Gan's half-smiley eyes looking at him, Dijiang immediately became alert. Brother Gu, there is so much meat here. You can't eat meat. Although there were hundreds of meat, he couldn't finish eating 2 pure-blooded creatures in the realm of the living emperor. A few days passed, even Gu Gan's stomach was full, and there was still a lot left. Gu Gan let hundreds of people share it for himself. If he wanted to eat, he could go to the ancient battlefield and cooperate with Emperor Jiang to hunt pure-blooded dragons and phoenixes at will. Let's go. The flying boat took off again, turned into a stream of light, and headed straight for the core of the ancient battlefield. Gu Gan knew that Chongqing Lake would cause a bloody war. Chongqing Lake has more than just Chongqing liquid and Chaos Green Lotus. There are other top treasures at the bottom of the lake, all of which are at least saint level or above. So many top treasures made Gu Gan think of the fat big orange cat. To be able to take away a divine weapon under the noses of a group of old monsters, there must be a big secret on him. I just don't know if it's the system or other abilities. There is also the patriarch of the big family in the Taoist world, who has countless descendants and Taoist companions. I believe he will meet his people soon. Gu Gan knew that the other party must have a big secret. Gu Gan hopes for a system. If he can get a system, its value will be even higher than a Chaos Blue Lotus. Window, _tabula equals window, _tabula dot push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula below article feed, placement, below article feed, target _type, mix. Chapter 35. If you want excitement, I will let you experience death. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As time goes by, more and more spirits pour into the ancient battlefield. Among them are spirits from the 3000 Dao states, as well as native spirits from the Dao realm. The competition for opportunities in the ancient battlefield is no longer a one-on-one fight. If there is no team to rely on, it will become the target of the team. Even if they are independent cultivators, they will gather together for warmth. However, there are always some mavericks, for example, the Beastmasters and Insect Masters of the Dao realm. These two types of people are the second cultivation system of the Dao realm. Their own strength is not strong, but they can control a huge number of monsters and insect armies. One of them is equivalent to a team. Of course, it is limited to teams with less than 100 people. If they encounter Gu Gan's alliance of the Dao system, they will be crushed in minutes. It is not impossible to defeat Gu Gan's alliance, unless the monsters you control are all pure blooded spirits such as real dragons and real phoenixes. Otherwise, you should run as far as you can. Gu Gan met a Beastmaster. If you cooperate with the monsters you control, you can defeat Ling'er, but you have to pay the price of half of the monster's death, and you may not kill Ling'er. If you are against fisherman, who is the best in group damage, even if the number is 10 times, it will be a waste. When you reach the level of fisherman, the number is useless unless the quality of the monster is very high. Brother Gu, junior sister is in danger again. She is near us. Li Chen said with worry in his eyes. Gu Gan nodded. Don't worry, Xuantian, take us to see. Not long after, the fluctuations of the battle came from the front. Lin Chen and Ling'er entered the ancient battlefield. The two had just come in not long ago and did not know the rules of the ancient battlefield. Chasing a treasure, he came here and bumped into an insect tamer from the Dao realm. The two fought for the treasure. Lin Chen has made rapid progress these days, but he can't get any good results from the unpredictable insect tamer. Damn it, what kind of insect is this? Lin Chen cursed. The sky and the earth are densely packed with insects. The insect tamer grew insect wings on his back and looked down at Lin Chen and Ling'er. It is undeniable that the individual strength of you foreigners is very strong, but if I send out the insect army, how will you deal with it? The insect tamer looked young and spoke with arrogance, as if he regarded Lin Chen as an ant. The insect tamer was called Xuantian, a young disciple of the Wang family in the Dao realm, and had a great talent for insect taming. During this period, I have come into contact with many spirits in the 3000 Daozhou, but they are nothing to me. In terms of single combat, my Zerg army has never been afraid of anyone. Of course, unless it is the true phoenix, vermilion bird, blue wan, the peng bird, etc., which are divine birds that naturally restrain the Zerg. However, if I get the legendary winged silkworm, the headed divine insect, the mysterious light insect, etc., they are divine birds, but they are nothing more than food for my Zerg army. I just think about it, maybe those divine insects don't exist at all, but they are just the desire of every insect rider. My steel bullet bugs each have a hard body like Gingjin, feed on various metal refining materials, and are most restrained by sword cultivators like you. Xuantian sneered. No matter how sharp Lin Chen's swordsmanship is, he can only make a sound of metal interweaving when he cuts the body of the steel bullet bug. Even if he killed dozens or hundreds of them, it would be completely meaningless for the tens of thousands of them. And Xuantian has more than one kind of Zerg. Your woman is still a virgin, and my Wang family's ancestor is going to take a concubine again. If you offer this exotic beauty to the ancestor, you will definitely get a reward. Xuantian looked at Ling'er, as if he was looking at a pile of cultivation resources. Xuantian knew that the women in the 3000 Daozhou were all very talented. If the children born had top-level cultivation qualifications, there would definitely be a lot of rewards. At least it can guarantee the food supply for his own baby bugs for the next 50 years. You are looking for death. Lin Chen was angry. He used the nameless sword technique again, and the mature steel bullet bug was cut open. Xuantian sneered. I wonder how long you can hold on. Then, Xuantian waved his hand, and a dark cloud flew out of the cloth bag on his waist. The dark cloud was composed of Zerg, and launched a soul attack on Lin Chen. The soul attack of one insect is nothing, but if there are tens of thousands of insects, collectively launching soul attacks, no one can underestimate it. Lin Chen had no way to avoid the soul attack, but fortunately there were treasures guarding his sea of consciousness, so he was not greatly affected. Wang Qianzi said, "You have so many good things from the foreign land. But if I kill you, they will all be mine." That the insects were too scattered, and Xiao Ling'er couldn't kill too many insects even if she used the sword talisman. Her face was a little pale at this time. Women are afraid of insects, and now they are surrounded by overwhelming insects. Xiao Ling'er got goosebumps all over her body. "Brother Lin, why don't we go first? We are fast, and these insects can't catch up." Xiao Ling'er suggested, but Lin Chen stared at the Taishian sword fruit that had been chasing in the sky for a while, which was a fruit that was infinitely close to the saint-level treasure. It was of great benefit to sword cultivators, and it was exactly a top-level treasure that they urgently needed. Lin Chen couldn't let it go no matter what, but he knew that the opponent's cultivation was higher than his, and there were so many Zerg, it would be a life-and-death battle. If Xiao Ling'er left, his chances of winning would be too small. "Don't be afraid, I'm here, you can just help me from behind." Lin Chen persuaded Xiao Ling'er to stay. If it were before, Xiao Ling'er would have agreed, but after the previous life-threatening crisis, she lost her sense of security, and the sense of security could not be felt following Lin Chen. Only behind senior brother Li did she feel that she was well protected, and it was just a fruit. Why bother to risk her life? Why not give it up and fight for a treasure that is not life-threatening? "Brother Lin, let's go, okay? You can't beat this guy. Some of my powerful trump cards can't play their due power here." Xiao Ling'er persuaded. Lin Chen didn't say anything, and the Taishian sword fruit was determined to be obtained. Seeing that Lin Chen was unmoved, Xiao Ling'er said again, "Brother Lin, don't take risks like this, it's just a fruit, I'll give it to you when we return to Xianyuan sword sect." That this was undoubtedly hurting Lin Chen's self-esteem. Lin Chen is a man with a strong sense of self-esteem, and rare treasures like Taishian sword fruit cannot be bought. At this moment, a wave came from behind Xiao Ling'er, and a completely invisible giant insect swallowed Xiao Ling'er in one bite. The insect's mouthparts were very large, and it swallowed Xiao Ling'er in an instant and sealed her, and then became invisible again. Ling'er. Lin Chen was shocked and could not detect Xiao Ling'er's breath. Wang Qianzi laughed loudly. "Boy, I don't know how many women I have caught with this trick of my shadowless insect, and sent them all to my ancestors of the Wang family. Your woman is very good and of very high quality. I believe she must be a lady of great status in your foreign land." But the next moment, Wang Tianzi's laughter froze. An extremely sharp sword light attacked, slashing in the empty space, and a stream of green blood shot out. The huge insect that swallowed Xiao Ling'er in one bite revealed its body and was cut into two sections. Because it lacked the ability to be invisible, Xiao Ling'er's will awaken from the chaos. She opened her eyes and saw a familiar face. "Brother." Xiao Ling'er couldn't help it anymore. Tears burst out of her eyes. When she was swallowed by the insect just now, no one saved her. At that moment, she recalled the past. Brother Li always killed all the uneasy factors before she was in danger, because she lived too comfortably. She didn't know what it felt like to be in a life-threatening crisis. In the past, Lin Chen saved Xiao Ling'er twice at critical moments, making Xiao Ling'er love the feeling of accelerated heartbeat. In addition, Lin Chen's personality was cold, and compared with Brother Li, who took care of her in every possible way, she felt that Brother Li was far inferior to Lin Chen. But when she really followed Lin Chen, entered the world of crisis, and experienced real death, she definitely didn't want to experience it again. It made her completely feel awe and fear of the cultivation world. Window, _tabula equals window. _tabula dot push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula below article feed. Placement, below article feed, target _type, mix. Chapter 36, playing hard to get to the end. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wu senior brother, I was wrong. Xiao Ling'er threw herself into Li Zhenhan's arms and cried so hard. It wasn't until this moment that the familiar sense of security returned. It was as if all the crises in the outside world had disappeared. Li Zhenhan was ecstatic, following Gu Gan like this just for this moment. But Gu Gan's voice rang in his mind. "Brother Li, don't be in a hurry to pamper your little junior sister. She has just encountered a death crisis at this time and can't respond. After she regains her composure, the relationship between you will at best return to its previous state." You are nice to her in every possible way, but she feels that your kindness to her is natural, and she might go to Lin Chen again. Hearing Gu Gan say this, Li Zhenhan was at a loss. Then what should I do? Li Zhenhan asked humbly. If you continue to play hard to get, doesn't she think that as long as you act coquettishly, you will come back to her without any hesitation? Then you should continue to keep your distance from her, Gu Gan said confidently. For a woman, the more she can't get, the more she desires. So you just need to fulfill your responsibilities as a senior brother, treat her as an ordinary junior sister, and don't care too much. If she finds out that you are really completely different from before and no longer treat her selflessly, then what will happen next? Gu Gan pretended. Li Zhenhan was impatient. What will happen? Could it be that my junior sister will be selfless to me? That's right. Fu Ji Tai Lai. You are so good to your junior sister. As long as you keep a distance and treat her as an ordinary junior sister, there will be a huge gap in her heart. When it reaches the critical point, her feelings for you will explode. Brotherly, you don't need to worry about her developing feelings for Lin Chen. You and your junior sister grew up together, and you are a close relative to her. Being with Lin Chen is just out of rebellious mentality. She may just be playing a game with Lin Chen. She will naturally give up when she gets tired of playing. Only you. You are my junior sister's most important relative, and what I have to do now is to change my junior sister's feelings for you from family affection to love. Li Zhenhan was stunned for a moment after hearing Gu Gan's eloquent words. The exchange between the two lasted only a moment, and Li Zhenhan immediately understood what to do. He reluctantly pushed the little junior sister in his arms away, pretending to be calm. Junior sister Xiao, men and women cannot be intimate. Xiao Ling'er was stunned and even forgot about crying. Li Zhenhan turned around decisively and charged towards Wang Tianzi with his sword. If you dare to hurt my Xuantian sword sect disciple, you are seeking death. Li Zhenhan's strength was terrifying, and he could easily kill Lin Chen and Xiao Ling'er who were in danger. Seeing Li Zhenhan's invincible sword-holding posture, Xiao Ling'er felt that her heart was about to break. It was as if something had been taken away from my heart, leaving it empty. It turns out that Senior Brotherly only took action because I was a disciple of Xuantian sword sect. If I was not a disciple of Xuantian sword sect, wouldn't Senior Brotherly even take action to save himself? After Li Zhenhan killed the insect controller from the Zhua Dao realm, he took the Taishian sword fruit in his hand. Taishian sword fruit, this is a good thing. Li Zhenhan was delighted. I wanted to give it to Xiao Ling'er if I could, but I still held back. Ask Gu Gan how to deal with it. The Taishian sword fruit level is very close to the holy level, but for sword cultivators, its value is more precious than the holy treasure. The Taishian sword fruit has the ability to cleanse the sword, and there is still a certain chance of comprehending the Taishian sword intent and condensing the Taishian sword. Just by hearing the name, you can tell how powerful Taishian sword intent is. It is one of the sword intellects at the highest level of sword cultivators in Qiandao Prefecture. Sword cultivation is divided into the inner sword lineage and the outer sword lineage. External swords rely on physical magic weapons such as spiritual swords, fairy swords, and holy weapons. They are good at fighting alone, just like Li Zhenhan. The inner sword is more powerful than the outer sword. Like Huanfu Shiyun, it is good at long-range attacks and group attacks. The inner sword master cultivates a sword without substance, relying on sword energy, sword light, and sword intent to fight. Thousands of sword lights can be divided in an instant. As long as the sword is strong enough, it is no problem to kill a group of people one by one. Basically, the inner sword cultivator is stronger than the outer sword cultivator, but if the outer sword cultivator cultivates the sword spirit of the magic weapon entity sword, he can compete with the inner sword cultivator. And Li Zhenhan cultivated sword spirits, and there was more than one sword spirit. The Taishian sword fruit is certainly precious, but Li Zhenhan is an outside swordsman, so there is not much benefit in taking it. Gu Gan told Li Zhenhan that he would give it to Li Weiner in front of Xiao Ling'er to stimulate her. Li Zhenhan did as he was told and gave the Taishian sword fruit to Li Weiner. Li Weiner took it and thanked her. Thank you, clan brother. It turns out that Li Weiner called Li Zhenhan senior brotherly. But now Li Weiner has given up and only regards Li Zhenhan as her elder brother within the clan. Li Weiner is planning to give up her original outer sword and focus on her inner sword. As a member of the Li family, she could not like other Taoists since she was a child. After all, the Li family is a sword-cultivating family. She was initially planning to take the path of inner sword cultivation, but in order to follow in Li Zhenhan's footsteps, she chose the path of outer sword cultivation. Now Li Weiner is ready to give up and resume the path of inner sword cultivation, and this Taishan sword fruit is the cornerstone for her to enter the lineage of inner sword cultivation. Li Zhenhan had no feelings for Li Weiner and was fixated on Ling'er, so I didn't pay much attention to some of Li Weiner's subtle changes. Ling'er saw that Li Zhenhan gave the treasure to Li Weiner again, and felt strong hostility towards Li Weiner. At the same time, her inner grievance made her cry without any image. Lin Chen saw that the Taishan sword fruit fell into Li Weiner's hands. Although his expression remained the same, his eyes were filled with reluctance and anger. The nameless sword method he obtained, although it can be used to cultivate both inner and outer swords, is mainly used to cultivate inner swords. Because he did not have the talent for inner sword cultivation, he could not condense the sword, so he urgently needed the Taishan sword fruit. Now there is no hope for the Taishan sword fruit. It's Li Zhenhan again. Why didn't I feel that this guy was so evil before, and he kept robbing his chance? At this time, he suddenly noticed a strange look. Lin Chen and Gu Gan looked at each other and saw the playfulness in each other's eyes, as well as a kind of teasing of looking at prey. He quickly retracted his gaze and walked to Ling'er to comfort her. Ling'er seemed to have found an outlet for her hunger and attacked Lin Chen. I told you to go, it's just a piece of fruit, why are you risking your life like that? You are awesome, but you took me on a risk. If it weren't for senior brother Li, I would have died. Did you know I was dead? Lin Chen was getting more and more annoyed. Everything was going smoothly before, but everything has changed since he came to Xiu Daozhou. Everything went wrong. Even Ling'er blamed herself, always feeling that something was wrong. It was as if there was an invisible black hand playing with her. Window, _tabula equals window, _tabula, _tabula. Push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target _type, mix. Chapter 38. To prevent the old love from rekindling, Lin Chen must be killed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Zhenhan, who was hugged by Ling'er, was very panicked at this time. He suppressed his excitement and asked Gu Gan what to do next. Congratulations to Brother Li for finally cultivating with junior sister Xiao and getting a beautiful girl. But if you don't want the Lin Chen incident to happen again, you must do two things. Gu Gan first congratulated Li Zhenhan, and then his tone became solemn. Li Zhenhan hurriedly said, Brother Gu, please speak frankly. First of all, the first point, don't be too doting on junior sister Xiao like before, you need to let her also pay for you. Only the relationship that both parties pay for will last long, and they will cherish this relationship more. As for the second point, Gu Gan kept it a secret again. Li Zhenhan asked quickly, what is it? Gu Gan sighed, let's not talk about it. You can't do this second point, considering Brother Li's character. Brother Gu, for the sake of my long-term relationship with junior sister, please speak frankly. I, Li, beg you. Li Zhenhan pleaded. Alas, Gu Gan sighed, and then slowly uttered the word, kill Lin Chen. Li Zhenhan was stunned, and then quickly refused. Lin Chen is my disciple of Xianyuan sword sect, and he has no hatred or grudge against me, and he has not done anything. Gu Gan interrupted, that's why I said the second point, Brother Li, you can never do it. The reason why I want to kill Lin Chen is because Lin Chen's existence is an extremely unstable factor. Because he is the first person that junior sister loves, and first love is hard to forget. And Lin Chen has a secret now, and he is bound to rise in the future. It is hard to guarantee that junior sister and him will not rekindle their old feelings and abandon you. Gu Gan deliberately emphasized the 4 words abandon you. Li Zhenhan's heart trembled when he heard it. He couldn't imagine that in the future, when Lin Chen grew up, he would defeat him and live with junior sister. Suddenly, a murderous intention towards Lin Chen arose in his heart. Is there any other way? Li Zhenhan asked unwillingly. This is not a solution to the problem. Lin Chen's existence will always be a holy weapon suspended between you and junior sister. If you are not careful, it will cut off the bond between junior sister and you. Gu Gan continued to tempt Li Zhenhan. Gu Gan can of course do it himself, but if Li Zhenhan takes action, there are two advantages. The first point is that it will be safer to kill Lin Chen. After all, he is the son of destiny and it is difficult to kill him. The second point is to better control Li Zhenhan. Li Zhenhan is the senior brother of Shenyuan sword sect and the head of the Li family. As the leader of two supreme sects, he will definitely be one of the hegemons of Qian in the future. If this matter is used as a threat, the effect is still quite good. After all, harming fellow disciples is intolerable in any sect, especially for a sect like Shenyuan sword sect, and once Li Zhenhan does this, his relationship with him can be further improved, in order to persuade Li Zhenhan to make up his mind. Gu Gan said again, brotherly, don't have to have too much psychological burden. Lin Chen has put my junior sister in danger many times. In public, he should be severely punished. Lin Chen has also comprehended your sword experience. If he grows up and knows your sword, it will pose a serious threat. In private, he should be killed. And brotherly, don't worry about this matter being exposed. I will accompany you to kill Lin Chen and give him a fatal blow. If it is discovered afterwards, you can put it on me. On the contrary, I am a member of the ancient clan. Killing an ordinary disciple of your Shenyuan sword sect is like crushing an ant. Li Zhenhan was moved. Since that's the case, Lin Chen should be killed for both public and private reasons, then, kill him. Li Zhenhan's eyes showed a strong murderous intent. Gu Gan smiled. Feelings are the magical things in this world. Even Li Zhenhan, a representative of the Taoists, can have the idea of killing because of this matter. Feelings are really a double-edged sword. Having made a decision in his heart, Li Zhenhan turned around and hugged Xiao Ling'er, holding the beautiful girl in his arms. Li Zhenhan felt that this was unreal. The flowers that he had worked hard to grow were snatched away by a cow. Dung spirit, but he never thought that he would meet Brother Gu, a master of feelings. Not only did he win back his junior sister, but he also made her fall in love with him. This kindness is too much for Li Zhenhan. Junior sister, I hope you understand my good intentions. Lin Chen is too selfish now. He took you into danger many times for his own selfish desires. I did this to let you see Lin Chen's true nature. Li Zhenhan's voice softened. Xiao Ling'er was held by Li Zhenhan, and her incomparable sense of security returned, as if all the dangers had nothing to do with her. Brother, having you by my side is Ling'er's happiest thing. That the people on the flying boat saw this scene inside. I wonder if senior brother Li doesn't care about junior sister Xiao anymore. It seems that a long-term relationship is more reliable. It's just a pity for senior sister Wanner. What a pity. You see, senior sister Wanner is not sad at all. I guess she has let it go a long time ago. The flying boat set sail again soon. On the top deck, Xiao Ling'er hugged Li Zhenhan's arm tightly, fearing that Li Zhenhan would run away the next moment. He also glanced at Li Wanner with a proud look. His attitude was full of provocation. It seemed as if he was saying, look. Senior brother is mine, no one can take him away. I am the junior sister that senior brother loves the most. Li Wanner just smiled slightly, and then returned the fairy sword that Li Zhenhan had given her earlier. Li Zhenhan was stunned. Wanner, what are you doing? I want to practice the inner sword, but the immortal sword means nothing to me. Li Zhenhan took the immortal sword and nodded. Zong also told me that your talent and inner sword cultivation are the most suitable for you. Senior brother looks forward to the day when you surpass me, and I will become senior sister of Zongman. Li Zhenhan smiled. Beside Gu Gan, Huanfu Shiyun glanced at Gu Gan with strange eyes. As expected of Uncle Gu, he plays with emotions all the time. If you fall in love with him, you won't find yourself a bunch of sisters in the future, right? Uncle Gu, don't you think it's very satisfying if you give me another one? Huanfu Shiyun sent a message to Gu Gan with a half-smiling smile. In that case, it was junior sister Wanner who took the wrong path. I just let her go back to her original track. Just think about it, Li Zhenhan and Xiao Ling'er were their childhood sweethearts, but they were snatched away by a guy who appeared out of nowhere. This idiot didn't give anything, just lying on Xiao Ling'er's body to suck blood. I can't bear the infatuation of Li Zhenhan to be defeated by someone like Lin Chen, so Xiao Ling'er can see it clearly. Huanfu Shiyun rolled his eyes. There are so many accurate tracks. I separated from Yi Hao before, so is it just that I am with Gu Gan? Gu Gan chuckled and said, aren't you with me now? Uncle Gu is a liar, you must have done it on purpose, just because you are greedy for my body. Huanfu Shiyun snorted. Nizi, are you feeling itchy? My body is also on the ancient battlefield. Don't worry. Huanfu Shiyun's face turned crimson and he spat on Gu Gan. Bad guy, we don't want to. Really don't want to. Only a little thought. A little bit. A little more. Chapter 39, The Snipe and the Clam Fight, the Fisherman Benefits, and there is also Gu Gan behind. You are listening at novelfull.audio. More than a month has passed in a flash. Gu Gan led the team and has been wandering around the core area of the ancient battlefield, because the main body and Qian had entered the ancient battlefield in advance. They had a clear understanding of the ancient battlefield. In the core of the ancient battlefield, a war began half a month ago. The battle was to fight for the lake condensed by the immortality liquid. Although the immortality liquid is a lake, there are so many creatures in the 3,000 Dao states, and there are countless Dao sects, so a fight broke out. The war is inevitable, because the ancient battlefield is suppressed, the individual power is quite small, and group battles can break out. In addition, the undead creatures continue to gather, and the native creatures of the left Dao world join. The number of casualties in the already chaotic and tragic battlefield has soared rapidly. Not only that, the ancient battlefield even let the breath of the elixir spread, attracting all the creatures in the ancient battlefield to join the meat-mincing battlefield. This was also one of the plans of the original owner of the Chaos Green Lotus, but now, it has become Gu Gan's plan. Gu Gan asked more than 100 people on the flying boat to suppress the restlessness and desire in the middle, and never get rid of the nuclear issue. The person who had the same idea as Gu Gan was Qian Yi, the Holy Lord of Taiyuan Saint. She also asked the leading figures of Taiyuan Saint, Taiyuan twins, to lead the Taiyuan Saint Tianjiao, as well as the Taoist commanders who were on good terms with Taiyuan Saint, not to participate in the war for the elixir for the time being. At that time, they can wait for the creatures of other sects to consume almost all their energy, and then go to reap the benefits. However, the number of the team of Taiyuan Saint is getting smaller and smaller. They can't restrain their greed and want to compete for opportunities in the ancient battlefield. The most important thing is that the Taiyuan twins don't have the deterrent power of Gu Gan. As for Gu Gan, Huanfu Shiyun will not talk about it. Li Zhenhan is also grateful to Gu Gan, so it is impossible for him to lead his sect to leave. Without Huanfu Shiyun and Li Zhenhan speaking, the leaders of other affiliated sects naturally dare not mention leaving the team. They have seen Gu Gan's strength. Even Gu Gan is not in a hurry to go, so they are even less anxious. Gu Gan's Daoist alliance team was not idle either, constantly harvesting other opportunities in the ancient battlefield, for example, energy crystals of undead creatures, natural treasures grown in the ancient battlefield, and other Daoist sects that escaped from the core of the ancient battlefield. They did not harm their lives or death, and robbed all the cultivation resources. These more than 100 people are all geniuses, and ordinary cultivators are not qualified to fly. Gu Gan may not be able to suppress them. Brother Gu, is the time ripe? Li Zhenhan asked. Sword cultivators are hot-tempered, and the Shenyuan sword sect and the Li family sword cultivators can't wait to enter the core of the ancient battlefield and kill them. The growth of sword cultivators is inseparable from fighting. Now they can fight with all their might. How can they bear it? Gu Gan nodded. It doesn't matter if it's a little later or earlier. Anyway, we have the most people, and the advantage is mine. My fellow Taoists, the opportunity is right in front of us. Follow me and kill. Gu Gan stood behind Di Jiang and shouted loudly. Kill! The Tianjios on the flying boats could no longer hold back. They are the best of the young generation of the 3,000 Daozhou, and they are arrogant and strong. A big battle is in front of them, and they can't bear it. At this time, the ancient battlefield is in the core. The air is filled with blood, and the sky is full of the aftermath of the battle. The undead creatures have been completely destroyed, and the sporadic ones are no threat. The surface turned into a sea of bones, which shows how spectacular the previous fight was. The human race in the left Dao realm is quite cunning, knowing that their numbers cannot match those of the 3,000 Dao states, so they will not form a large-scale group at all. But there is an exception, that is, the Wang family of the left Dao realm. This huge family, with its members spread all over the Left Dao realm, is the real first family in the Left Dao realm. Sects such as the beast-taming sect and the insect-taming sect are far less than the 3,000 Dao states without a Taoist tradition. But if all the Wang clan members in these sects are separated and united with the Wang clan members of other sects, a huge force will be formed. Among them, there are not only human beings, but also monsters, alien beasts, fierce beasts, and even insects, living in harmony, because they all have the surname Wang. It can be said that the ancestor of the Wang family has a strong taste and accepts everyone. However, the Wang family did not dare to be in front of the 3,000 Dayas without a Taoist tradition at the beginning, otherwise they would be united and surrounded. First, after all, the Wang family belongs to a foreign force, and the creatures of the 3,000 Dayas are still clear about who is close and who is distant, so when the war was about to end, more than 2,000 Wang family members came to kill. And their strength is extremely good, not comparable to ordinary creatures, but the genius and strong in the left world. Damn it, how can there be so many foreign ants? There are many beast and insect tamers among them, which makes them even more difficult to deal with. Are we going to be taken advantage of by them? This scene was beyond the expectations of the 3,000 Daozhou old monsters, and they all looked unhappy. They never thought that the native creatures of the Left Dao realm, which they despised, would actually form a group of more than 2,000 people. It doesn't matter. We have countless 3,000 Daozhou strongmen. Although most of them were killed or injured, we must unite. Before the old monster finished speaking, he saw more than 3,000 Left Dao realm creatures appear on the other side of the sky. And the leader also carries the banner of Wang. How could this be? The royal family is so prosperous. Who is the ancestor of the Wang family? 2 teams of thousands of people were led by beautiful women. My husband is the master of the Left Dao realm. If you don't want to die here, just give me all your resources and I can let you go. That the 2 women's faces were filled with pride and arrogance. I don't know if I thought these old monsters in Xuantian Daozhou were the so-called indigenous people. The 3,000 Daozhou creatures looked at this scene, and their expressions were quite ugly as they continued to fight. Thinking of the countless heroes of our 3,000 states, today they stumbled here. When the old man is gone and his strength is restored, he will uproot the Wang family. No matter how hard he eats it, I want him to vomit it out. But now we really have nothing to do. The old weirdo said, Chongqing Lake is a great opportunity. This is the consensus of all creatures, so even the old monsters are fighting to death at this time, but he didn't expect that this war would come to an end. All the people participating in the war would die and be injured, but they would be reaped by the aliens from the left-right world. No one from the ancient clan, Taiyuan Xingyu, and other sects have come to join the battle yet. By the way, I remember that Gu Gan, the patriarch of the ancient tribe, and Qin Yi, the holy master of Taiyuan saint, also entered the Zhuo Dao world early. Why did I never see them too? That just as the nearly 6,000 Zhuo Dao realm king family members were preparing to surround the battlefield, 2 figures came together. Qian and Qin Yi had not stepped onto this battlefield stage until now. Gu Gan looked indifferent. The natives from a foreign land are trying to plot against my 3,000 Taozhou heroes. Chapter 40 The Suspected System's Incredible Ability. You are listening at novelfull.audio. During this period of time, Gu Qian accompanied Qin Yi to obtain an artifact and other treasures, very rewarding. After all, they were the first to enter the ancient battlefield and seize the opportunity. As Gu Gan finished speaking, 2 flying boats appeared behind him. One ship is dominated by 3 people, Gu Gan, the body outside the body, Huangfu Shiyun, and Li Zhenhan, another ether yuan double, headed by another supreme Taoist leader. The combined number of people in the 2 flying boats is as many as, although the number of people is far less than the nearly 6 people of the Wang family, but I know one thing, these people are the proud people of Sandaozu, not ordinary monks. Not to mention the strength of 1 against 10, there will still be no problems with the enemy. Not only that, on the other side, several Taoist priests who are also quite chicken thieves appeared, and the total number of people was quite large. Ha 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 ha, natives of a foreign land, it seems you don't have to wait to leave this place. You will be buried here today just waiting. Some old monsters breathed a sigh of relief. it is better to lose to other orthodox traditions than to lose to the natives of a foreign land. Moreover, what is currently being fought over is only the distribution of longevity fluid. The real goal of these old monsters is the treasure at the bottom of the lake. The current Changxing Lake has already been heavily restricted, in order to prevent the treasures at the bottom of the lake from being stolen by smugglers. After all, before entering the foreign land, a fat orange cat succeeded and lost an artifact, so they won't fall in the same place twice. Before the winner is determined, no one should expect to obtain the treasure. The faces of the two women who were the ancestors of the Wang family became ugly, and then they both showed their bodies. One is an alien beast, and the other is a disgusting insect race. Kill. I will capture the entire lake for my Wang family and dedicate the treasure to our ancestors. That the battle broke out instantly. The auras of the creatures in Sandaozu and Suedao realm are easy to identify, so there is no need to worry about killing the wrong one. Qingyi looked at this scene calmly. Fellow Taoist Gu Gan, you are really good at it. In order to make Chaos Qinglian mature, you have arranged a killing formation here that affects people's mental judgment. You are so cruel. Before the ancient battlefield even started, Gu Gan had anticipated this scene, so he arranged a very hidden formation here. The formation has no other abilities. It simply absorbs blood and turns it into killing energy, affecting the mental judgment of the creatures within the range, making them bloodthirsty and impulsive. As a result, the number of casualties will soar. If there was no killing formation, these Wang family members would definitely hesitate and worry about gains and losses. Maybe they will just retreat. The reason why trapping and killing formations are not arranged in advance is because the trapping and killing formations are too obvious and will be discovered by old monsters who are good at formations. The killing formation has no actual lethality. Even if it is discovered, no one can crack it. The old monsters are all human spirits, so they naturally know the killing formation, which is prepared for the treasure at the bottom of the lake. So there was a tacit agreement to let this war go on without making any noise. It seems very tragic, but in fact, those who died were those with relatively average talents or those from small orthodox traditions. For example, the elites of Wuji Immortal Palace regard this war as a grinding stone. The casualties are less than 1/10, which can be regarded as survival of the fittest. However, it was just a serious consumption and serious injury, and there was no fear of life. As for the palace masters and elders of the Wuji Immortal Palace, not to mention, they are all experienced. Now, even the shadow of the treasure cannot be seen, and they all hide their strength in secret. They will wait for the two armies to be almost exhausted before the final battle for the treasure can begin. But at first, I was really shocked. After all, there are nearly 6 elite members of the Wang family, and when their cultivation levels are suppressed, they are no match at all. How Gu Gan and Qingyi brought many more geniuses, versus many, but the advantage is Daozhou's side. Ha ha ha. It's so exciting. It's so fun to kill the natives from a foreign land. I already have 30 heads in my hand. Who has more heads than me? Ha! Only 30. I've already swallowed 10. That the ancient battlefield is a blessed place for the most talented people in the 3 states. Because their cultivation is suppressed here, the old monsters will also fall here. At this time, the geniuses of various orthodox traditions came from all directions. The genius of the war clan suppressed the whole world with his body of 10,000 feet. The pure-blooded true dragon releases the supreme true dragon's pressure. The beast master's beasts bow down and surrender. It is also a pure-blood divine bird that uses the insect swarm army of insect masters as a cafeteria. Sister Suzaku, come and try this blue bug. Take one bite and your mouth will burst with juice. Sister Qinghuan, you are so primitive. You have to bake the insect first. Let me use Nanmingli fire to bake it until it is medium rare. That the Wang family were all stunned at this time. What's going on with these freaks? The old monster stroked his beard and chuckled. The number and quality of young geniuses in this era exceeds any previous era. I personally think that the evil dragon and Taiyuan are the most amazing in strength. No, 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 you are wrong. The leader of the ancient clan is the most amazing. Gu Gan. Just him. Don't you know this? In fact, Gu Gan has been pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger before. With his true combat power, even the master of the Wuji Immortal Palace was easily defeated. How is that possible? The original war between Sandaozu and Zuodaiji has changed. The ancient battlefield has become a stage for the geniuses of the three states, demonstrating their strength and bravery. Although there are many Wang family members, it is extremely difficult to kill a genius in the same suppression realm. They all have life-saving trump cards. This time, the geniuses of the three Deas joined forces to kill the enemy. It seemed as if it was a competition to see who killed more enemies. Gu Gan didn't care about the local creatures in the left world, but just chickens and pottery dogs. As for the Wang family ancestor behind the Wang family, although there are many descendants, they are not the top geniuses in the left world, but it is still not enough for the dimensionality reduction attack of the three Deas. Gu Gan used the ancient immortal life eye to check the situation of the people of luck. Yi Hao was sure, and was secretly staring at the lake. Lin Chen was not present, probably because other opportunities fell on him. Huh. Interesting. So interesting. Gu Gan wanted to retract the ancient immortal eye of life, but he found an amazing pillar of luck, which was even more amazing than Yi Hao's. It was the orange fat cat. It had been lying on the belly of a female demon to drink milk, and no one noticed it. Even the female demon seemed to ignore it. Logically speaking, this fat cat stole a divine weapon, and it would definitely be hunted down for appearing so righteously, but it seemed that no one noticed it. It was like, it was forgotten by the world. Even the ability to ignore the ancestor-level existence is really against the sky. Gu Gan already knew the ability of the fat cat. It is to let all living beings automatically filter it out. If it weren't for the pillar of luck, even Gu Gan would not be able to notice its existence. It seems that it has set its sights on the treasure at the bottom of the lake again, and will quietly steal it after the fight for the treasure is over. Such a perverted ability, could it really be a system? Gu Gan was a little suspicious. No matter what you are, no matter what opportunity you have, after I kill Yi Hao and Lin Chen, you will be the next one.